The point guard position has evolutionized ever since the beginning of the NBA. We're now seeing crazy handles, insane dribbles, and shots from half court. These point guards have taken over this era and made it something else. And this year we've seen amazing point guards, and I'm going to be ranking my top 10 point guards from this season. Honorable mentions go out to Mike Conley, John Morant, De'Aaron Fox, and Kyle Lowry. They're really good, but just not good enough to crack the top 10. Coming in at number 10, we have Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday has been a great fit for the Bucks this season and is having one of the best seasons of his career. He's averaging 18, 5, and 6 assists per game with the Bucks. Giannis and the Bucks currently asked for a better fit for the team, and he's just doing that really well. He's one of the best defensive guards in this league, defensive players for that matter, and he should be at least considered as a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. I definitely see him making at least defensive second team, maybe first team, and he's top 5 in steals, and his rebounding is really good for a point guard. And, in the postseason, he could have a really good, successful time and maybe lead that Bucks with Giannis to a title run or the conference finals or the finals, whatever. But I definitely see them improving from last year, and it's going to be a big portion to Jrue Holiday, which is why I have him ranked here. Coming in at number 9 with the Denver Nuggets, we have Jamal Murray. Now, he would be ranked a lot higher if he didn't tear his ACL midseason. So far, he's been averaging 21, 4, and 5 assists per game with the Denver Nuggets, and is a great addition to that team. I reckon the Nuggets would have a really good shot at the title if Jamal Murray was in for the postseason, because we know how well he can do in the playoffs. Last year, we saw him drop 50 in the playoffs, and that he really fueled that team to go to the conference finals with the Lakers. Definitely a big upset there we saw with the Clippers, and it was mainly thanks to Jamal Murray and Jokic. He's had great shooting splits, going 47 from the field and 40% plus from the 3, and that's why I have him ranked over here. Coming in at number 8 with the Atlanta Hawks, we have Trey Young. He's been doing great this season. He's been averaging 25, 4, and 9.5 assists per game. He's a top 5 passer in this league, and as a player, I do think he hasn't improved much from last year, but as a team player and as a leader, he's improved a lot. Last season, the Hawks were one of the worst teams in the league, and Trey Young was the best guy on that team, and he just didn't lead that team anywhere. But now, this season, they're the 5th seed in the East, and Trey Young took a step back from scoring, but his playmaking has improved a lot, and that's why that team is so good now. Coming in at number 7 is Ben Simmons with the Philadelphia 76ers. The main reason I put him here, along with Jrue Holiday, is his defensive impact on a team. And he can guard the 1 through 5, and he's a runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. And I do think he should win it, as opposed to Rudy Gobert. Also, he's a good scorer with 14 points a game. He does get a lot of hate for his lack of a jump shot and three-pointer, but he makes up for that on the other side of the court. And he's averaging 7 and 7 assists per game. So he's a great playmaker, great defender, great passer, great scorer, besides shooting and all. And I definitely don't see people putting him lower just because of his lack of shot. Although it affects the team and affects him as a player, everything else just really makes up for it, and that's why I have him here. Coming in at number 6, we have Russell Westbrook with the Washington Wizards. The reason I put him here is basically because of his stat line. 22, 12, and 12 is absolutely insane. He's averaging another triple-double, as you can tell, along with a couple seasons back. And he's the only player to do this besides Oscar Robertson, which he did it back in the 60s. But we haven't seen it since then, and now he's doing it the past few years, and he just broke the record for most triple-doubles in a career, with 183 now. He's leading the league in assists, which is why I really put him here. He's a great playmaker, does well for his team. He's been doing a lot better recently. At the beginning of the season, the Wizards were doing pretty bad, and I would put him a lot higher if he had a better team, or he was making that team do better, because we know Russell Westbrook is a playoff guy, and he can make a playoff with any team. And a lot of people hate on him and probably put him lower, but I gotta put him here just for his monster numbers he's averaging. Coming in at number 5, we have point guard CP3 Chris Paul with the Phoenix Suns. He's been having a great season, as he's probably an MVP candidate. He's averaging 16, 5, and 9 assists to go along with that. He's one of the best passers in this league, one of the best playmakers in this league, And he's also a great defender, especially for a point guard. He's probably all defensive second team, arguably first team. And the main reason I put him here is his leadership role on the Phoenix Suns. This year, the Suns have been the second best team in the NBA, and last year they were a lottery team missing out on the playoffs. And the only addition really was Chris Paul, and with the improvement of some other players, but that's mainly thanks to Chris Paul. He's a great mentor for young players, and like I said, his playmaking just goes along with that so well, and he can make players really well with that. And that's why I have him here. His playmaking, his scoring, his defensive impact, and his leadership. Coming in at number 4, we have Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. He's had such an amazing year this year. He's averaging 27, 8, and 9, and he's leading those Dallas Mavericks to the top 5 seed in the West, which is kind of crazy to see such a young guy having such a good team, and the team isn't really good. They don't have many stars without him. Porzingis is mostly injured all the time, and it's mainly Luka carrying that team, really. And he's making a lot of spots for his guys, because with those 9 assists a game, he's letting them score, and he's making them better players. I would rank him a lot higher if his defense was better, but until now, he's going to stay like this. And in a few years, he's such good potential that he's going to rank maybe number 1 someday. Coming in at number 3 with the Portland Trailblazers, we have Damian Lillard. He's been averaging 29 a game. He's a great scorer. He's probably the best scorer in the game besides Stephen Curry. Also, he's probably the best three-point shooter behind Stephen Curry. You can really match with him, but they do have very similar play styles, and Lillard is one of the best leaders in the NBA. That's enough said. I do think him and Luka are really close, neck to neck. You could go either way, but I'm going with Lillard. Coming in at number 2 with the Brooklyn Nets, we have James Harden. You could put him as a point guard because he's been playing that most of the season. We all know his true position is shooting guard, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to put him at point guard. And he's been a great passer this season as he's top 2 in assists. And we all know he can score really well as he led the league in scoring 2 years ago, last year also. And this year is taking a step back from the scoring aspect of the game and more of the passing and helping for his teammates. As when you have Kyrie and Kevin Durant on your team, you start to pass the ball a little bit more and score a little bit less because obviously there's one ball and you got to pass and not shoot as much. And James Harden has fit with that Nets team so well. He's also stepped up great on defense this year, and that's why I put him here. Coming in at number 1, you guessed it, we have Stephen Curry from the Golden State Warriors. He's been carrying that team for the entire season, and they're one of the worst teams in the league without him. Last year, he only played a couple games, and the Warriors team was the worst team in the league by a good margin. But this year, he's averaging a monster 32 points per game and 6 assists per game, but his playmaking goes beyond that box score. One thing Trey does so well is draw double teams because he's so good. And when he draws double teams, you do the math, there's one man open on his team. And he passes to him and he scores the ball or he does whatever. Because if you can double team, it's so easy to get buckets like that. And that's why Steph Curry ranks here. Scoring and his playmaking and his leadership role on that team just makes him that good. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the comments below, leave what you would change about my list, and even you can leave your list below. If you get enough likes on this video, I will be doing a part 2 for shooting guards, so make sure you share with all your friends and like this video if you want to see part 2. And peace out.